Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. We are from Group 11. So today we are presenting about the project of the Occupational Safety and Health course. So before we proceed for the presentations, let me introduce our group members, which consisting of the five members. The first is Muhammad Hani bin Zakaria, our group leader. Ahmad Akim bin Ahmadul Kaman. Ismi Azharuddin bin Mas'ad. Muhammad Zikri bin Rosli. And then the last one is Anis Nadira binti Muhammad Aiman Chai. Okay, in this project assignment, we are assigned to conduct a preliminary site visit at any construction sites. So the site that will be chosen is at the Hulu Langat District, Selangor Darul Ehsan, and the title of project is the proposed development of 600 units Selangor Cool housing consists of two apartments block with 16 to 17 floor. And the developer for this project is the Setia Ekuhir Sendirian Berhad. In this slide, I will briefly explain about the construction site overview. So as I mentioned earlier, the site being chosen at the Selangor for the Selangorku housing project. So in this project, they have several types of works will be carried out through the project. So the first is the site preparation. So in this site preparation will be involve the site clearing, leveling the ground and the setting up the temporary facilities. So after they complete the site preparation, they will be enter the site for the excavation and foundation work, such as the digging trenches, placing the concrete footing, and also the constructing foundation walls. Next, for the structural construction, will be involved the installation of the columns, beams, and the floor slab to create the structural framework. And then for the utility installation or for the electrical works, will be carried out. The electrical wiring, plumbing, and the sewage system will be installed. Next, in the interior and exterior works, been involved the installation of windows, door, and cladding, and also the roofing. Next is the infrastructure development. So in this activity will be involved the construction of roads, walkways, parking area, and the landscaping. And the last one is the utility service area setup, such as the installation and setup for the various units, such as the electrical rooms or the pump rooms. Okay, this is just for the overview, and for the detail or specific activities will be explained or presenting by Anis Nadira for in the next slide.
Assalamualaikum and hi. I am Anis Nadira binti Muhammad Amaja. We will present about type of work. First is barricade. Barricade are physical barrier erect around a potential threat to protect people or prevent access to a defined area. A barrier erect around a potential hazard to warn personnel of an impending hazard. Second is unloading and loading. Unloading and loading are activities that are common performed in construction site when material or equipment need to be transferred from one point to another. Third is excavation work. Excavation work is defined as the removal of earth, rock, and other material in connection with construction or demolition work using a tool, machinery, or explosive to form an open face, hole, and cavity. Fourth is bar bending. Bar bending, also known as reinforcing steel bending, is a process in construction where steel bar or rod are bent to fit the design specification for reinforced concrete structure. These bars are typically made of a carbon steel and are used to add strength and stability to concrete structure. Okay, next is concreting work. Concreting work is construction refer to the process of pouring, spreading, and fashioning concrete to create solid structure or surface. This can involve to the use of various tools and techniques such as concrete mixer, trowel, and street, as well as diverse type of concrete mix depending on the intended application. The sixth is plastering work. Plastering work is process of applying a thin layer of cement, sand, and water mixture to the wall and ceiling of building. It is common construction finishing technique that help to create a smooth and even surface on wall and ceiling, which can then be painted or decorated. Okay, next is the roofing work. Roofing work refer to the task of installing, repairing, or maintaining roof. This involve working on the upper part of a building to ensure that the roof is in good condition, waterproof, and capable of withstanding different weather conditions. Next is erection and dismantle. Erection refers to the process of assembling or building a structure. It usually involves putting together various components or parts to create a concrete structure. For example, is erection of a building, bridge, scaffold, or tower. Dismantling refers to the opposite process, the taking part of a structure. It usually involves removing various components or a part to make the structure smaller or to completely dismantle it. Example is building bridge, scaffold, or tower. Next is erection of steel. Erection on steel refers to the process of assembling and connecting steel beam, column, and the other structure component to create a building or structure. This process requires skilled worker to use crane and other tools to position the steel member accurately and connect them securely through welding, bolting, or other method. The lastly is erection of scaffolding. Erection of scaffolding refers to the process of setting up a temporary structure, usually made of metal or wood, usually to support worker and equipment during construction, renovation, or maintenance project. It involves assembling the scaffold component according to the design specification and safety standard and ensure its stability and strength to prevent accident and injury on the job site.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Elmi bin Zakaria. So I'm going to present about hazard identification using HIREC. The description of job is plastering work. The work activity, the first one is erect working platform. The hazard is unguarded platform. And the effect of the erect working platform is fatality and property damage. The existing risk control is PPE and inspection by competent scaffold. And the second activity is load cement mortar into platform. The hazard is uneven platform and heavy load. The effect is minor and major injury. The existing risk control is appoint competent person to inspect platform and tools box, torque and PPE. The third one is plastering work. The hazard is defective platform or dust and hot weather. The effect minor injury or no lost time injury. The existing risk control is 3 times rest every 8 hour working. The last work is removing unwanted material. The hazard is sharp object. The effect minor injury or no lost time injury. Existing risk control is tools box, torque or PPE. That's all. I'm going to present about risk assessment using HIREC form. So the description of job is plastering work. We can see from figure 1. Figure 1 is the example of risk assessment in the HIREC form. So in the form is we can see the risk assessment has 3 type of thing, that is likelihood, severity and risk level. The rating for likelihood, severity and risk level we can see from figure 2, and the type of control we can see from figure 3. So we see the figure 2. Figure 2, the likelihood rating has from 1 until 5, that is the 1 is very unlikely, and 5 is most likely. The severity for also have 5, that is from 1 is minor injured, and rating for 5 is numerous fatality. So the risk level, uh, we can see from the risk ranking, that is F low, medium and high. Risk level we can calculate by likelihood times with severity. If the risk level is 1 to 4, the level is low, and if the risk level is 5 to 12, the risk level is medium, and the last one is high, that is from 15 until 25. And we can see from figure 3, that is the type of control. Type of control have 5, that is the one is elimination, the second one is substitution or isolation, and the third one is engineering control. The number four is administrative control, and the last one is personal protective equipment. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Hakim bin Ahmadul Kamal and my metric number is CF200-188. In my presentation on recommendation for control measure in plastering work, I would like to highlight the following step and corresponding control measure. Firstly, in the step of erecting working platform, it is important to implement administrative and personal protective equipment control. The administrative control involves creating a checklist to inspect the scaffold location every 2 days. On the other hand, workers should always wear essential PPE such as hard hat, safety glasses, high visibility vest, work clothes, work boots, and gloves. Moving on the next step, which is loading cement mortar into the platform. Additional control measures are recommended. For an administrative perspective, the supervisor should monitor the load of cement, barricade the lifting area, apply a permit to work PIW, and put up warning signage. PPE control remain courier and workers should consistently wear appropriate gear. During the actual plastering work, it is recommended to provide more drinking water on site as an administrative control measure. Additionally, workers should strictly adhere to PPE requirement. Okay, lastly, when moving unwanted material, the primary control measure focus on proper PPE usage. Worker involved in this task should always wear PPE, hard hats, safety glasses, high visibility vests, work clothes, work boots, and gloves to ensure their safety. Implementing these control measure in vital to prioritize the safety and well-being of worker engaged in plastering work by combining administrative control and the use of appropriate PPE. We can minimize risk and create a safer working environment for all involved. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Muhammad Zikri Benosi. I will explain about the safety and health knowledge to engineering practice in the construction industry. First is the designing for safety. Engineers are responsible for designing structures and systems that prioritize safety. Next is risk assessment. Conduct risk assessment to identify potential hazards associated with construction projects. Next is compliance with regulation. Safety and health regulation set by government bodies and industry organizations provide guidelines must be followed. Next is continuous monitoring and inspection. By regularly monitor construction sites to assess ongoing safety and health condition. Next is hazardous material management. Engineers must have knowledge to the proper handling, storage, and disposal of hazardous materials to prevent risks to workers and the environment. In summary, safety and health knowledge is essential for engineers in the construction industry to design and secure structure system. By incorporating safety consideration into their practice, engineers can mitigate risks, protect workers and the public, and ensure compliance with regulation leading to successful and sustainable construction projects.